Welcome, welcome. In this video, I'm going to break down how three different roles inside a customer success operation can use GoCSM differently. So whether you're a CSM working individual accounts, a director level position that's managing a team of CSMs, or a solo operator or a partner, this will show you exactly where to go, what to check, and how often. So the three roles are CSM, CSD, which is director, and owner or partner. And each one looks at the same data, but ultimately you're asking different questions and using different filters. So let's start with the CSM. The CSM is the front line. This role works at the individual account level. They're catching problems early, they're catching red flags and leading indicators as opposed to lagging indicators, and reaching out before a client mentally checks out, and ideally before the thought of cancellation even crosses the client's mind. The CSM cadence can be daily or weekly. If it's weekly, every Monday morning, about 60 minutes to 2 hours, same time every week. The first stop is going to be in the health dashboard. And you're going to be looking at accounts requiring attention. So, this is an excellent, easy point to start with. These 5 accounts that are requiring attention are going to be the first ones that you should look at. GoCSM's AI over here is going to give you an idea and a breakdown of what's wrong with those accounts. So it's going to flag them, and you can click into each account and check what's impacting their health. So, for example, you can click on quarter deck content or the first account in there, and the AI is going to give you an idea of what the biggest risk signals are, what the green flags are. And from this point, you can dive even deeper by going to product adoption, looking at the different features, looking at red flags here, which coincidentally they're in red, and even diving deeper into assets, diving into revenue, and diving into login activity as well to see exactly who's logging in, when they're logging in, and what they're doing inside of the account. After you discover exactly what's wrong with each account, it is pertinent that you write down what is wrong, number one, and number two, write down the action that needs to be taken. So, examples can be go inside of the account as the CSM or notify the operations team to go fix something in the account, or as the CSM, reach out to that client and try to book a call with them, or if it's something quick, call them and get a quick answer to a question. The second stop is going to be inside of login activity. Inside of login activity, you can click at risk and dormant accounts. And when you do that, it's going to take you to sub accounts, filter by those sub accounts, and you can understand deeper what's happening with those sub accounts, which users are dormant, are the right people logging in or not logging in. At this point, you should already have an automation set up to catch users who are not logging in. So if you see the users are not logging in and you have the login reminder automation on, that means that automation is not successful in getting those people to log back into the platform. So you're going to need to additionally reach out to them and try to get them to log back into the platform, understand why they're not logging in, or even in some cases escalate it to the management team or to the agency owner so that maybe they can call the owner of the client's business and try to understand what's wrong with that account. The login activity are pre-churn signals. It's one of the most important pre-churn signals, so make sure to catch those. The third part is going to be revenue intelligence, particularly under sub-accounts. You can see these cards, and all of these cards are clickable. So if you click on declining accounts, it's going to filter all of the declining accounts. Declining means they're spending less money with you. Maybe they downgraded, maybe they're spending less money through their wallet, maybe they canceled WhatsApp or WordPress or any of the add-ons for your plans. So it's definitely worth looking at that. Number two, plan downgrades. And number three, failed payments. Again, you should have automations to catch failed payments. So if you're seeing failed payments, This is going to be one of the first types of outreach that you need to do for the week or for the day to make sure that those failed payments are resolved. And the last stop is going to be product adoption. Under product adoption, under features, you can get an understanding, a high level understanding of the agency's product adoption of all of your clients. And you're looking for red flags here. So if you see any numbers in red that are big decreases, you can start investigating from there. You can also go to sub accounts and look at all the sub accounts, add any columns that you need in here, look at all the columns, and look at the engagement. If you see any red flags in engagement, such as a 12% drop, a 20% drop, anything like that is a red flag that you should be investigating. All of the tables inside of GoCSM, for example, the sub accounts table of accounts here, a lot of the columns have filters. So you can use these filters to create a filter of, for example, all clients who are at risk and take a look at red flags within them. For example, this account Bayshore agency has 22% drop in engagement across all of the assets, and the time spent has dropped by 17%. This is definitely something that you should take a look at. And again, you can filter by date. So if you're doing this weekly check, make sure to click on last 7 days and look at this data from the perspective of the last 7 days. Next position that I want to go over is the customer success director. They're going to be using very similar data, but asking different questions. The CSM is looking at a holistic picture and trying to identify systemic issues and patterns. The CSM is focusing on one account at a time, while the director is going to be looking at patterns. And the best way to do that is through the overview tab, not just for product adoption, but also for login activity, also for health, as well as for revenue intelligence. This is going to identify systemic issues that indicate that you need to change something in your processes. For example, your onboarding process, your follow up, your kickoff process, your client account setup process, your educational process to your clients, or even your customer success processes. So, as the director, you're going to be using this data to run one on ones with each CSM, as well as a single weekly team meeting. And before each meeting, you can pull up at risk accounts by going to health and looking at all the at risk accounts. You can go to sub accounts, click on the at risk column. It's going to filter by all the at risk accounts, and you're looking at all of the at risk accounts. And you can ask your CSMs, what is your plan for this account? What is the issue in this account? Have you reached out to them in the past? When was the first time you noticed this issue? How many times have you reached out? And based on that, identify if there's an opportunity for you to update your customer success process, because perhaps your CSMs need help in knowing exactly what to say, knowing exactly how to best contact the client, who's the best person to reach out to on the client's team, what to ask them, how to incentivize them to hop on a call, and when the call is scheduled, how to properly lead that call. The third and final position is the owner or partner level. This also applies if you're a solo operator and you don't have a CSM, you don't have a director, and you're fulfilling all three of those roles. So, as an owner or a partner, you're going to be doing a weekly or a monthly check in. If you're doing a weekly check in for about an hour, look at the agency health score. Always start with that. Your agency health score can be configured under the configure tab under the health module. Look at the health score, and more particularly, you have the 90-day health trend here. If you've started using GoCSM and creating your SOPs and updating them around customer success, the 90-day health trend is going to be the best North Star to understand if your efforts are effective or not. And then if it's staying flat or if it's reducing, then you know that there's something that needs to change. There's a systemic issue at hand that needs to be investigated and addressed. In addition, if you're a solo operator, the owner weekly review is absolutely your minimum. So 60 minutes on Monday every week, check in on your health score, check on your at risk accounts. And as you grow, the CSM Weekly rhythm is going to be the first thing that you hand off because it's the most time consuming, most time incentive, and the most account specific. This is where you go through every single account. And the faster you can hand that off as you scale, the faster you'll be able to stick to analyzing high level data and making high level decisions. I hope you found this video super useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.